Gamers, what is up? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel, brand new unscripted video on the channel because I don't have any notes for this one. But we're going to talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. We're also going to talk about Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, and we're just going to talk about how JRPGs kind of changed gaming for me overall. I was never really the biggest JRPG fan outside of Pokemon. I always played Pokemon. Always played the Pokemon games. Final Fantasy was never really too interested in that. Dragon Quest, I never really cared. Digimon, not JRPG, but I never really cared about any of that stuff. I didn't think it was lame. I just didn't think it was something that was really up my alley, or I just saw it as something that was like super grindy and super this and super that. When that Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade came out, demo came out for the Switch one, I got pretty hooked, like right away. And I'm not as much of a performance slob or snob as I used to be. You know, I don't really care too, it really just depends on the game, honestly, in terms of whether it's locked at 30 FPS or 60 FPS. Great example of that being Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade for the Switch at 30 FPS is completely fine. I don't know why I look at that and I'm like, this is fine. Like I don't have an issue with this. Most recently, past the development of what this video is about, I've been playing Dragon Quest III, and there's an option where you can change the settings from a performance mode or a quality mode. The quality mode puts the game in a way higher resolution and bumps up the textures a little bit, but runs the game 30 FPS, and the performance mode, which honestly still looks fine, like just as good. Like the game like still looks great. Runs at 60 FPS, and I can't not play that game in 60 FPS. That game in 30, no. It's fine, but Dragon Quest doesn't need to be any slower than it already is in some cases, especially when it comes to Dragon Quest III, because that game is long, hard, and grindy. Actually, I don't really know if it's all that long, but it is hard and grindy. Anyways, I picked up Final Fantasy VII pretty much on release date as it came out for the Switch too, and this is the first game in a long time where I was just like, I can't put this down. Like, I was very immersed in the story. It was the first time in a minute where I was playing a linear story game, and that was something I had been looking for, I guess, in terms of games. Like, I didn't want anything that was like I was tired of the open world. I was tired of the, you can go here at this point in time, but you can also go here and then this happens, like style of gameplay. Like, I like open world RPGs. I love those type of games. I was just looking for something more linear at that point in time. And that game knocked my socks off. I'd say it's probably a solid like 9 out of 10 for me on the Switch too. I don't know if I'll give it like a proper review or anything like that. But the depth of the story, and I thought the voice acting was pretty decent. I didn't think it was there weren't a lot of moments where I was like actively cringing at it, which is good because I tend to do that when it comes to any kind of dialogue in any kind of game. But yeah, I got all the way to the very end of the remake before I started getting stumped. Like pretty much everything else, like difficulty wise, I had it just on the standard difficulty. Like it was fine. It was completely fine. Like I didn't wipe too many times to the boss fights or anything. But I enjoyed that. I never really played a game like that was like action and turn-based at the same time. I know that's kind of new for Final Fantasy. I know Final Fantasy is more of, that's typical, like turn-based JRPG style combat. But I kind of like what they did with the remake here, and I'm really excited for Rebirth to come out on the Switch. I could have bought Rebirth on the PS5. I could do that right now, but I would just rather wait for the Switch one. Like, yeah, I can get 60 FPS at 1080p on PS5. Not much better than that, I don't think. I could be wrong about that though, because I don't know the exact performance stats for that game on PS5. But I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait for the Switch 2 version. I like the ability of just the whole thing with the Switch 2. I mean, you can't take your PS5 to the bathroom with you when you want to take a break. You know what I mean? So that's one of the key things there, is to why I kind of want it on the Switch too. But one thing you do miss out on the Switch 2 compared to PlayStation is you miss out on, of course, you know, like trophies and all that stuff. But yeah, I've had a great time. Final Fantasy 7. It's like $20 right now on sale on the Switch 2 if you want to go pick it up digitally. Even physical, I think it's like $30. Not bad. And if you're into Magic the Gathering, or if you've, you know, come from that Magic video, that game actually does come with a Magic the Gathering pack of cards, so you can get a Final Fantasy pack of Magic cards if you really want to. Then after that, there was another demo that came out, another Square Enix demo that came out before the game came out. We got a Dragon Quest VII Reimagined demo, which took you through pretty much the first four hours of the game, roughly. I never played a Dragon Quest game before. Like I said, I've never really been like a Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest fan, or even JRPG fan outside of Pokemon. Game runs well on the Switch too. I don't know if it's 1440p in docked or not, but it certainly looks good. Even compared to the PS5 version, like the Switch 2 version might actually genuinely be the best version out there of the game, outside of PC, of course, you know, and mods and all that stuff. But man, this game's a little adventure. And if you like story, there's a lot of story. There's a lot of different stories, a lot of bouncing around with those different stories. But there's some quality of life features in this game that aren't present in other Dragon Quest games. One of those being one of the main core mechanics of the game as you're you know, going through the world and fighting the enemies. There's no random encounters. You can just go up to the enemies and kind of like interact with them and start a fight, or kill them if you're strong enough. Like right away, right off the bat, you can just press A and then they die. You don't die in Dragon Quest VII at the medium or easy difficulty. So your characters will die in battle, but as you exit the battle, they are back at 1 HP, and you can just heal them from there. Granted, you know, if you don't heal them in battle, actually, you don't die at all. There's no coffins in the game except if you're on a hard mode. If you never played Dragon Quest before, if a party member or character dies, you lug them around in a coffin until you can get to a church to resurrect them. So that's cool if you're new into Dragon Quest. Quite frankly, I didn't even know that that characters dying and being in coffins was a main like mechanic and main thing in Dragon Quest until I booted up Dragon Quest 3 and then got my ass kicked, and I'm like, oh wait, you actually die in this game? Yeah, it was kind of a rude awakening when I got to 3. But yeah, man, I had a great time. It reminded me a lot of Pokemon, but in a positive way. And that's really what hooked me, because Final Fantasy, like, I really didn't get into I didn't do like the turn-based style combat. All I was doing was pretty much the action style combat with the, you know, actions you can choose when you select an action, it slows down time and all this sort of crap and all this stuff. More turn-based battling, and it's fun. All the little like monsters you fight and all the different ones that show up throughout your adventure. There's not too many in 7 Reimagined. But there's a decent amount. You know, it's cool. It's fun. But again, this is another game that I just couldn't put down. Like, I played the demo straight through. I put about 3 hours into it. Compared to the original game, they actually did cut out like a pretty decent amount of stuff. So there's like less filler and less like unnecessary stuff that was in the game before. You can either view that as unnecessary, or there is the other perspective of that content actually did help world building a whole lot, like especially like in the beginning of the game. I'm not going to get into the story spoilers with that, the comparison like to the old game spoiler wise, because I don't want any of this game to be spoiled for you guys if you decide to go out and grab it. But yeah, if you like Pokemon, if you like turn-based games, if you just like that cartoony anime, you know, style of game, I guess, then Dragon Quest might be for you. I didn't expect it to be for me, but I'm really enjoying myself. I didn't 100% 7 Reimagined. I got through the main story in it took me a while. I think I did about 65 hours of pure gameplay. Like, it's a lot. It's a long game. But it's a lot of it really is a lot of fun. I mean, there's the way the game works is essentially you have to gather these stone tablets that connect into a giant stone tablet. Not really, it's more so like 3 pieces of a tablet that make a square, and then you take them to this place, which is called the Shrine of Mysteries, and then you take those stone fragments and you put them down where they're supposed to go, and it opens a teleportal, which is Dragon Quest's little teleporter system to a new island or new world or whatever, to a new island or a new world. Well, more so new island, not new world, because it's all in the same world. But kind of discovering the, like, it's kind of like a time travel game in a sense, where you go back into the past to the island that you discovered through the stone tablet, and then there's another arc of that island in the present where you go discover that island in the present and see how things have changed since you know, have gone back into the past and, you know, done some pretty significant events in that area. But it's fun. There's a lot of cool, fun stories on each island. There are a few islands that they kind of drag a little bit. There's a few where I'm like, you're just kind of going back and forth between place and place. And there's this one in particular, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like an Egyptian themed one where all the people have wings, and just the way the main town and main island is like set up is just so frustrating, just because to when you start this point of the quest, when you get to and you first initially get to the town, you've got to go all the way to the other side of the town, which is like 5 or 6 doors at the end of the day once you're done with it, and it just takes like 2 to 3 minutes to like actually traverse to the other side. So there's some tedious stuff there. But the way everything kind of comes together, and when you get to the final act of everything, kind of pays off. Story I really enjoyed, gameplay I really enjoyed, progression I really enjoyed. I kind of went into this completely blind. Outside of what was shown in the Nintendo Directs, I didn't really know anything about this game. I just thought it looked like physically, you know, graphically looked really, really good. But this slowly became, I mean, I've only played Dragon Quest 7 all the way through. I'm currently playing through 3 now, and then I'm going to do probably 1 and 2, and then see where to go from there. Probably 11 after 1 and 2. But I'm really getting into Dragon Quest that I really didn't expect to. Sometimes I guess the real lesson I learned is like, sometimes you just gotta try stuff. You know, if there's a demo for a game you might be interested in, like, give it a shot. See how it is and see if it's something you like, because, you know, 2 demos that I've played ended up turning into some of the best gaming experiences I've had so far. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys like Dragon Quest, if you like Final Fantasy, or just what you think about those games in general, if you've played them for a long time, if you haven't. But yeah, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't like the video, you are entitled to your own opinion. I'm not going to add anything else this time. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.